If you've followed my channel for more than 5 minutes, you can obviously tell that I love pro wrestling. Hell, pro wrestling and gaming are my bread and butter. So with WrestleMania this Sunday, I figured it's a better time now than ever to take a look at one of the worst wrestling games in my opinion ever released. Let's take a look at Midway's WWF WrestleMania the Arcade Game for Sega Genesis. And by calling this a wrestling game is a hell of a stretch in itself. Released by Midway during the era of their great releases such as NBA Jam, Mortal Kombat, WrestleMania the Arcade Game dropped in the mid-90s at the height of popularity of 2D fighters, so Midway tried to make WrestleMania more like a hybrid 2D fighter as an actual simulation feel-style wrestling game, and the end result polarizes a lot of people. Some actually really enjoy this game. I think it's garbage, and let's take a look why this game is just an utter disappointment. The one biggest positive about the game, especially for its time, are the graphics. The digitized Mortal Kombat character style they chose here for the sprites look great, and each character represents exactly who they're supposed to be. So there's no squinting your eyes to tell if that's Bret Hart like in previous wrestling games with shittier graphics. In here, you knew it was Bret. Sidebar, speaking of Bret Hart, if you get a chance, check out on YouTube some of the clips released at the time on the VHS pro tips of this game as Bret Hart backstage with the producers and developers wearing a tie and working on the game. It's hilarious, top notch, and I can't recommend it anymore. Presentation aside, let's get to the meat and what counts about any game, the playability, and while I've played much worse wrestling games, it's not great here. It tries too hard to be a Mortal Kombat with losing the elements of actual pro wrestling in it. The hit detection's wonky, and the difficulty's completely unfair. There's two modes in the single player. You can choose the path to the Intercontinental title, or go big time for the World title. When you go for the World title, every match in succession is a handicap match 2-on-1, so good luck. I'm lucky to get past match 2. I always stick with Intercontinental, that's the route I suggest for you. My favorite character in this game's always been The Undertaker. I don't know if he's actually OP, but he does seem to have the best skill set and seems like he's stronger than most guys, and is The Undertaker. You definitely get a ride of nostalgia firing up this game immediately with a roster of 8 characters, 8 on the Sega as opposed to 6 on the SNES. This is why I chose the Sega version. Bret Hart, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, Bam Bam Bigelow, Yokozuna, Doink the Clown, and Lex Luger. My childhood in a nutshell. You know, maybe I was a little hard on it. It really isn't that bad. Maybe I just had really bad memories. Hell, it's hard to come back from No Mercy and Revenge to this. Back then, this is the best of the best. This was WrestleMania the Arcade Game, a thrill to have as a kid, and not that bad to actually go back to. I'd say grab it. It doesn't go for much and isn't hard to find, and it's worst wrestling games out there by far.